Hello, magic casters of all shapes and sizes. My name is Chance. Welcome to my Spellbook, and thank you so much for tuning into the 6th episode of our second level spell series. Today we're going to be taking a look at a really cool one, actually. This is another one that I haven't played with personally, but I really do think it lends itself to a particular style of playing the game, and without spoiling too much, let's just say I wouldn't be so quick to write it off. This is certainly something to bring up during the session 0, though. At least the rough guidelines that this spell affects. I'll get into that a little bit later. In any case, today we're going to be taking a look at Arcanist's Magic Aura, also known as Nystul's Magic Aura. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. If I am not, I am sorry, but it's written right there. It is usable by the wizard, and naturally, through extension, anyone else with access to their spell list, and it is found in the player's handbook, so we should all have access to it. Fantastic stuff. Let's move on to the mechanics and kind of look at what we're talking about. Your cast time is the standard 1 action. Your range is touch. The duration is a little bit weird. So it's 24 hours for the spell itself, but if it's casted for 30 days with the same effect on the same object or creature, and that is an important distinction, it becomes until dispelled. So very similar to Arcane Lock. Basically, it's just always active unless they get hit with dispelled magic, which is very interesting stuff. In terms of the effect, at least at a glance, choose one or both of the following effects, apply them to an object not worn or carried or a willing creature. The first one is False Aura. Change the way the target appears to spells and magical effects that detect magical auras. A good example would be Detect Magic. Or Mask. You change the way the target appears to spells and magical effects that detect creature types or alignment. Some good examples would be Divine Sense, the Symbol Spell, Protection from Evil and Good, that kind of stuff. The components are the Holy Trinity, so somatic, material, and verbal. Somatic means you have to gesture with one hand. The material component is a small square of silk. It is not consumed, so just a component pouch will work. And the verbal component implies you have to speak forth an incantation. And the school is illusion, which is really exciting because there aren't a ton of illusion spells in early levels, so it's just really refreshing to have one after a while. Fantastic. Now that we've established the basics, let's move on to the full description. You place an illusion on a creature or an object you touch so that divination spells reveal false information about it. The target can be a willing creature or an object that isn't being worn or carried by another creature. When you cast the spell, choose one or both of the following effects. The effects last for the duration if you cast this spell on the same creature or object every day for 30 days, placing the same effect on it each time. The illusion lasts until it is dispelled. False Aura. You change the way the target appears to spells and magical effects, such as Detect Magic, that detect magical auras. You can make a non-magical object appear to be magical, a magical object appear to be non-magical, or change the object's magical aura so that it appears to belong to a specific school of magic that you choose. When you use this effect on an object, you can make the false magic apparent to any creature that handles the item, and that's very important. Mask. You change the way the target appears to spells and magical effects that detect creature types, such as Paladin's Divine Sense, or this trigger of a symbol spell. You choose a creature type and another spell and magical effects treat the target as if it were a creature of that type or of that alignment. Whew, very, very cool stuff here. So a couple things I would like to point out. First and foremost, the way False Aura is written implies that you cannot use it to hide certain magical effects while making other ones predominant. For example, if you have a sword that does +1 damage, but it's cursed so that every time you kill a creature with it, you inflict 1 damage on yourself, it would be possible for you to mask that curse while making that +1 magical effect appear basically non-hidden, for lack of a better term, which is very interesting stuff. And the ability to allow virtually any creature that handles the item to know what its magical effects are leads to a ton of very interesting roleplay scenarios with regards to fairly high intelligent beasts or NPCs, since it doesn't specify they have to be humanoid or of any particular type. It makes logical sense that if you were to cast False Aura on a mundane item, making it seem incredibly dangerous and cursed, that should even a lower intelligence-based beast come to contact with it, it would probably scare them off. At least that's my interpretation of the spell. Once again, run it past your GM, but I think it makes a lot of sense to me. Now let's move on to Mask. So Mask is a pretty interesting one in terms of what it applies to. So there are a couple campaigns that I could see this being relatively powerful in, especially when it comes to various forms of espionage, when you're dealing with things that aren't exactly from the material plane and use a lot of scrying abilities. I think this would be relatively interesting to use against them. In any case, speculation aside, let's take a look at some more specific alternative uses that I was able to think of. So, now this is a little bit of a cheesy one, granted, but I could imagine a lot of you having a lot of fun with this. This would be an absolutely hilarious way to mess with players. It's a fairly low-level spell, not a lot of people know about it. This is my first time really taking a look at it, to be honest with you. I can't even remember glancing over it, but it says it's in the basic rules, so I guess I would have had to a bunch of times. In any case, it's just a great way to mess with characters. That's more of a DM using it kind of application, but still, I'm counting it. Another cool way of using this would be to increase the value of items as you barter them and sell them to stores and shops. I would probably impose a limitation on this, but I mean, getting a couple extra gold out of an arrangement sounds fair to me. Another cool way to use it, and we did touch on this a little bit earlier, is to disguise curses. I really think that's fantastic. It's just a very creative way of using it, since the effect can become, or since the duration, can become until dispelled. It really lends itself heavily to that form of application. Also, if you have a secret identity to protect, like let's say you're an Asmar who is trying to come across as just a regular old human, then this would be a great way to keep that identity of yours a secret and possibly flee prosecution or scrying means or anything like that. It'd be very, very cool. In any case, that's all I could really think of. I'm sure there's a lot more. So if you can think of any alternative uses, interesting ways to use this spell, or any cool stories, please put it down beneath in the comment section. I would really appreciate it. I love hearing from you guys, and it just helps contribute to a better fundamental understanding of the game. So I just really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I want to take a quick moment to thank our patrons as well: Marcos G. Guzman Jr., Reyna, Tanner Frazier, Kenny Garcia, Bruce T, Tato Seal, Spider-Man and his amazing friends. Thank you so much, guys. It's great getting to know all of you, and the support has been unreal during these videos. I can't put it in words how appreciative and how grateful I am to all of you. If you'd like to get to know us or have any questions, comments, concerns, or ideas you want to bounce past anyone, please tune into our daily live streams from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. There are some days where we're not able to do them. Life just has a nasty habit of getting in the way when you least expect it, but for the most part, we're pretty dang consistent, so feel free to drop by. If I'm ever not able to do one, I'll put it in the community section on my YouTube channel, so check that out if I'm running late. And if you like that cool hand-drawn Warforged and you'd like your own hand-drawn D&D character, please check out our Patreon videos to figure out exactly how to do that. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy casting, everyone.